Chapter 3396. Hearing Lu Yan's words and slammed on the brakes. He parked the car on the side of the road and cleverly turned on the double flashing lights to make others think the car had broken down. Otherwise, it wouldn't be right to park on the overpass for no reason. What instructions? Heroin. And was terrified. You sit in the passenger seat. I'll drive. Before An could react, Lu Yan grabbed his collar and pulled him down. Then she sat in the driver's seat. Then before An could sit still, the car sped up. Lu Yan slammed on the accelerator and the car shot out like an arrow with a broken string. The speed was very fast. Slow down. Slow down. There's a speed limit in the downtown area, An reminded her. But Lu Yan didn't care. She overtook several cars and went straight to the white Toyota. Lu Yan don't. And finally understood why Lu Yan wanted to drive. She wanted to cause trouble. And thought Lu Yan was going to fight back with the Porsche in her fury. But she didn't. She overtook the white Toyota sedan and went directly in front of it. Then she slammed on the brakes and stopped in front of the car. The owner of the car didn't expect Lu Yan to do this. When he realized what was going on, it was too late to stop the car. The white Toyota crashed into Su Yu's white Porsche 911. Fang. A loud sound rang out and it scared everyone. Fortunately, Lu Yan was prepared and jumped out of the car within. The back of the Porsche was badly damaged. The owner of the white Toyota was ejected by the airbag and his car was also badly damaged. But from the looks of it he seemed to be fine, but he was scared silly by the scene. The driver stared straight ahead, his mind blank. Lu Yan let go of An, who was still in shock, and swaggered over. "Idiot, you rear-ended me," Lu Yan said with a smile. "You stopped in front of me on purpose. Are you trying to blackmail me?" The man realized what had happened and cursed Lu Yan. "Which eye of yours saw me stop in front of you on purpose?" Lu Yan asked. "Don't try to blackmail me. I have a car recorder. It's already recorded. When the traffic police come they will judge." The man seemed to be determined. Lu Yan glanced at the parking camera in his car and turned her watch slightly. "I'm afraid your dashcam is broken. It's useless. Just admit that you're unlucky." "Who said so?" "I don't believe it." Afraid that Lu Yan would destroy his dashcam, the man immediately took it off the car. However, he couldn't open it at all. He took out the chip and plugged it into the device, but it couldn't display any images. Damn, what's going on? It was still working yesterday. The man was dumbfounded. The driving recorder was indeed broken. Thus, there was no way to prove that the woman had deliberately stopped the car. According to the traffic laws, it was his responsibility to rear-end the car. "Your Toyota Camry is worth less than 300,000 yuan, right? My Porsche is worth more than 1 million yuan. Even if you buy insurance you'll get 500,000 yuan at most. You'll have to pay for the extra. As for the car, it's useless to repair it. Why don't you buy a new one to compensate me?" Lu Yan looked up. "Bitch, how dare you blackmail me? I'll kill you." Enraged by Lu Yan, the man rushed up and punched her in the face. Chapter 3397. Before Lu Yan could do anything, and dashed out and kicked the man 3 meters away. The man clutched his chest and lay on the ground, unable to get up. "Whoa. Everyone come and see." He hit him. She hit him. Seizing the opportunity, the man was about to accuse her when more and more people came to watch. "You hit him first. How dare you accuse her?" And tried to reason with the man angrily. But the man didn't listen to him. He only wanted to use this as an excuse to accuse her. So even though he was fine, he lay on the ground and refused to get up. "You don't want to get up? I'll do it." Lu Yan walked over with a smile and had a bad feeling about this. Sure enough, Lu Yan walked up to the man and kicked him. But the man could even hear the sound of his ribs breaking. "Ah!" The man screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Then Lu Yan raised her foot and stepped on the man's kneecap. Then she kicked again. With a crack, the man's right kneecap also broke. "Help! Murder! Murder!" The man wailed and the onlookers were dumbfounded. Then Lu Yan clapped her hands and said, "For consecutive fractures on the left ribs and a broken kneecap on the right. According to the standard of Southside Recuperation Center, the surgery fee and follow-up treatment fee should be as high as hundreds of thousands. It's just enough to cover the loss of the Porsche. As for the money, you don't have to pay, and you don't have to scream." Then Lu Yan turned and walked away. And followed her in a daze. "Guard, stop her. Don't let her go. I want her to send me to the hospital," Just wait. A lawyer will contact you. It's up to you whether you want to settle it privately or report it to the police. And didn't want to be outdone. After working for Suyu for so long, he knew a lot about the law. And thought it was wrong for Lu Yen to hit someone on the street. But Suyu had a team of lawyers, and so did Chinchu's company. Then it would be easy to settle it. The person involved didn't have to be here. With the Porsche destroyed, and followed Lu Yen for a few steps. Let's take a taxi back. I'll talk to President Su about the car later. And thought he'd better take the blame. He couldn't blame Lu Yen, a woman. The one opposite. Is that a Porsche 4? And didn't quite understand and nodded. Lu Yen crossed the street and walked toward the luxurious shop within, following closely behind her. Welcome, the saleswoman said warmly. Do you have a Porsche 911 in stock? Yes. How much? If it's high quality, we'll need one. 98 million yuan. If it's on loan or in installments, there's a discount. I'll pay in full. I'll pay by card. Lu Yen took out a dark blue card inlaid with diamonds. The words on the card were all in English. The saleswoman was dumbfounded. She had been selling cars for years, and this was the first time she had met such a straightforward customer. What? You don't accept global diamond cards? Lu Yen frowned slightly. Yes. Please wait a moment. 10 minutes later, Lu Yen drove out of the shop in her brand new Porsche. Sitting in the passenger seat and felt like he was in a dream. This woman got into a fight with someone on the street and crashed her car because of one sentence. Then she spent 15 minutes buying a new car that looked exactly the same. It was simply, unbelievably cool. 98 million yuan was an astronomical figure, but Lu Yen bought it as if it were a roasted sweet potato on the street. And felt like his heart couldn't take it anymore. Lu Yen, and called in a low voice. Yeah. Lu Yen responded while driving. What do you do for a living? And felt like he wouldn't believe this girl if she said she was just an ordinary college student. She had kicked the man so accurately that his ribs were broken. The force was so great and the position was so precise. This woman must have a big background. Chapter 3398. Hearing Anne's question, Lu Yen didn't know how to answer. I'm doing a small business abroad. What kind of business? And obviously didn't believe her. It's like helping someone with something, running errands and so on. If you take someone's money, you have to help them solve problems. And froze. No. I'm paid to do something for people. Lu Yen immediately corrected herself. What kind of business is it? And found Lu Yen's words were vague. Forget it. You won't know anyway. Don't ask. Anyway, just think of it as my father's rich and a spendthrift daughter. And nodded and didn't say more. In fact, he was stupid. After all, Dr. Hua and President Qin were both rich. How could his sister be poor? Maybe she was really a rich daughter of an overseas Chinese. She knew some kung fu and probably learned it from elementary school because she was afraid of being kidnapped. Lu Yen and An arrived more than 10 minutes later than Su Yu and the others. They didn't talk about the fight or the new car. And was afraid his boss's heart wouldn't be able to take it. When Lu Yen and An walked in, Zheng Ro had finished making breakfast and was putting it on the table. It was a simple breakfast. Zheng Ro had baked bread, sliced ham and fried eggs. After all, Zheng Ro wasn't a professional and didn't know how to make soup dumplings. Is that all? Lu Yen glanced at it and asked mildly. Auntie, what do you want to eat? Little Bean flattered. I like Chinese food. I want congee and pickles, said Lu Yen. Then you go out and buy some. Suyu glanced at An. No need. I'll cook some. It'll be quick, said Zheng Ro. What about pickles? You don't have any at home, right? Suyu didn't like pickles and rarely bought any at home. Pickles are easy. I can make some with cucumbers. Wait a minute. Zheng Ro didn't say much. She thought it would be troublesome for An to go out and do it herself. Then let me help you. Suyu didn't think it was a good idea to let Zheng Ro work in the kitchen while they were eating. Handsome Su, are you worried? Little Bean smiled. Don't talk nonsense. I just think that Zheng Ro isn't our housekeeper. You guys eat. I'll help him. After that, Suyu followed her into the kitchen. President Su, you eat. I'll go help Miss Zheng. And stood up and was about to leave when Lu Yen kicked him. Sit down. And didn't understand. It's none of your business. Just sit down. Lu Yen glared at An. And didn't dare to move. He had a vague feeling that the twins and Lu Yen were acting strange today, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Inside the kitchen when Suyu entered, Zheng Ro was washing rice. Let me help you. No need. You can go out and eat. I'll be done in a while. Are not unhappy, are you? Why would I be unhappy? Zheng Ro looked at Suyu. The twins suddenly said they wanted to eat here. I guess they have some misunderstanding about you. They're close to me and don't like the women around me. I hope you don't mind. I know. Zheng Ro nodded. I'm sorry about what happened today. I apologize. You're not our housekeeper and have no obligation to do this for us. Suyu felt guilty. What are you talking about? Aren't we friends? Zheng Ro smiled. Chapter 3399. We're friends, but Suyu wanted to say more. Hey, if you really want to help me wash the rice, I'll peel the cucumber. Zheng Ro put the small bowl of rice in Suyu's hand. When they came out, it was half an hour later. The rice porridge is ready. Zheng Ro brought it to them. But I'm full, Lu Yen said. Zheng Ro, what's wrong with you? You're too slow. Are you professional? Lu Yen glared at Zheng Ro. Miss Lu, she's not my housekeeper. She's my friend, Suyu explained immediately. Huh, friend. President Su, are you so generous? Can a female friend live in your house? Lu Yen asked deliberately. A trace of awkwardness flashed across Zheng Ro's face. Although she was the one who had shamelessly moved in, she was still a little embarrassed when someone really exposed her. Miss Zheng is President Su's girlfriend. That's why she's living here. And felt that Zheng Ro was a nice person and often made breakfast and supper for them, so he felt bad if he didn't say something now. Seeing En and Suyu defending her, Zheng Ro felt comforted. Oh, your girlfriend. I see. I'm sorry. Lu Yen chuckled. It's okay. Then let's eat. Zheng Ro didn't say anything. Sitting beside Suyu with a smile, she lowered her head and began to eat. You two eat. We've finished. See, you have a swimming pool. I want to swim. Lu Yen glanced at the twins. You two come with me. Hey, Auntie. Following Lu Yen, Little Bean and Pudding walked to the swimming pool in front of them. And finished eating and went back to his room to change clothes. Only Zheng Ro and Suyu were left in the dining room. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. Who's that woman? That's Huamian's little sister. Suyu would mention Huamian's name in a gentle tone. Oh, so that's Dr. Hua's sister. He's so pretty. Yeah, they have good genes. That's why Pudding and Little Bean are so pretty. Suyu was full of pride when he talked about the twins. Pudding and Little Bean seem to want to introduce you to their aunt, Zheng Ro said. Ah, no way. Suyu was a little surprised. Can't you see what the children are thinking? That's impossible. How old is her auntie? She's only in her early 20s. She's so energetic. She's not my cup of tea. Suyu had heard about how outstanding Lu Yen was, but after meeting her in person he found that Lu Yen was beautiful and had a domineering aura. However, she was indeed not his type. It was that simple. The child must be trying to matchmake the two of you. After all, you're both so outstanding. In that case, I don't think it's convenient for me to keep living here. I'll pack up and move to the hotel later. Ah, why? Isn't it nice to live here? There are plenty of rooms in the house. If Zheng Ro had moved out under normal circumstances, Suyu wouldn't have said anything. However, Suyu felt a little guilty when she moved out under such circumstances. It was as if she had been bullied by a bunch of people. I think I'm redundant here. Huh. Zheng Ro smiled awkwardly. Suyu didn't say anything. Suyu, if you had to choose between Lu Yen and me, who would you choose? Zheng Ro suddenly looked at Suyu's profile and asked seriously. Chapter 3400. I choose. And Suyu answered without hesitation. Zheng Ro, what kind of answer is that? Zheng Ro was exasperated. I'm telling the truth. I haven't known you and Lu Yen for long and have no feelings for each other. And I, on the other hand, have been together for years. So, Suyu, you're going to change your sexual orientation to avoid me? Zheng Ro didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Stop fooling around. Suyu lowered his head to eat the porridge and stopped talking to Zheng Ro. By the swimming pool, Lu Yen reclined in a chair with her legs crossed, questioning Little Bean. Tell me, whose idea was it? Auntie, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Little Bean chuckled. You two, do you really think I can't tell what you're thinking? I even volunteered to be your cannon fodder just now. You two should thank me. Auntie, you can tell? Little Bean bit her lip and walked to her auntie's side. Of course I can tell. You two are so mischievous. For Suyu's sake you're willing to do anything. Did you drive away all the female stars in the past? Huh. Yeah. Those pretentious bitches hate us. Didn't you see how angry Jian Tong was when she saw us? Huh. Little Bean said proudly. So this test is for the woman named Xing Ro, right? Auntie, nothing escapes your eyes. Little Bean ran up to her auntie and massaged Lu Yan's shoulders. You two are so childish. Yeah. We're only 3-year-old kids. Isn't it in our nature to be childish? Little Bean smiled smugly. Fine. Fine. You win. Lu Yan didn't know how to answer him. Auntie, this is all we can do to help handsome Su. He loves us very much, so we can't let bad women be around him. We don't know what kind of person Xing Ro is, so... Little Bean paused. So you two came up with this stupid idea. Lu Yan chuckled. It's not that bad. I think it's still useful. Pudding stuck out her tongue. You're right. Character is indeed important. But have you thought about it? Even if Xing Ro's character is good and she's a good match for Suyu, what then? Let's set them up, Little Bean said. How is that possible? It would be great if feelings were so simple. Let me ask you, what if Suyu doesn't like you? Can you hold a gun to him? No. The twins shook their heads in unison. So what you two are doing now is secondary. Suyu's heart is the most important thing, Lu Yan said. Auntie, why don't you get together with handsome Su? Little Bean's words almost made Lu Yan choke. Cough, cough, cough. Auntie, it's true. You're so excellent that handsome Su will fall in love with you, Little Bean said happily. You're trying to match me up again. Su isn't my type. Besides, I'm already taken. If my boyfriend finds out, he'll be furious. Right. Mommy said Auntie has a fiancé. Let's not link handsome Su to Auntie. But Auntie, what do you think of Xing Ro? Pudding asked mysteriously. You can't tell at first glance. Many shrewd people are good at pretending. They can hide their feelings for a year, let alone a day. You're right. So we can't let down our guard against Xing Ro. Little Bean nodded. So, does your mommy know you two are fooling around? Lu Yan looked at the two kids with her arms crossed. Chapter 3401. Mommy doesn't know. Auntie, please don't tell Mommy. Frightened, Little Bean waved her hands. You two have good ideas. Lu Yan felt like her two nieces were about to ascend to heaven. They talked in the swimming pool for a while and then went into the house. Siyu was talking on the phone in the living room, talking about the company, and was cleaning Lu Yan's Porsche with his head lowered, thinking about something. Xing Ro was cleaning up the mess in the kitchen. With so many people eating, there were piles of plates and bowls. She didn't have to do these things at home, but in Suyu's house she was like a nanny. Not only did she have to serve Suyu, but she also had to serve in. But Xing Ro felt this life was much better than before when she had everything to eat and wear. Pudding felt bad about it. Even though it was a test, she didn't want to push her too far. So when she went to get ice cream from the fridge, she took an extra one into the kitchen. Auntie Xing Ro. Xing Ro looked back. Here you are. Thank you. Xing Ro felt warm and took the ice cream from Pudding. Auntie Xing Ro, thank you for the breakfast. It was delicious, Pudding said. I'm glad you like it. In fact, I don't cook much and was worried it wouldn't taste good. I found the cucumber and pickled vegetables on Baidu. Ziyi said it was delicious. I was lucky. Xing Ro smiled with satisfaction. The one outside is my auntie. Yeah. Ziyi told me about her. Xing Ro nodded. Is your leg okay? Pudding lowered her head to look at Xing Ro's injured leg. It's okay. It's recovering well, but I can't walk as nimbly as before. Damn it. Otherwise I would have gone shopping. Xing Ro pursed her lips. I think you can go to my mommy's place and let her take a look at you and give you a good checkup. Yeah. I want to go too. I heard Dr. Hua has great medical skills. He does, Pudding said without hesitation. Pudding, you and Little Bean hate me, don't you? After washing all the dishes, Xing Ro turned around and squatted down. Asked in a low voice, holding the ice cream in one hand. No, we just don't like women who approach handsome Su for no reason, Pudding said vaguely. Did many women approach him like this in the past? Yes, the actresses from Imperial Star often do that. They even try to seduce handsome Su and wear very little, Pudding said. Xing Ro blushed slightly. I didn't. My clothes are normal. Ha, I don't show any skin, Zheng hurriedly explained. Will you stay at Handsome Sue's house forever? Zheng didn't know what to say. What if Handsome Sue has someone he likes? Then I'll definitely move out. I was just thinking that you might want to introduce your aunt to him. It's really inconvenient for me to stay at home. I can stay at a hotel. While Zheng said this, Pudding stared at her face and studied her micro-expressions, trying to figure out if she was telling the truth. Pudding realized that Zheng didn't mean to say that. Maybe she really thought so. That's not necessary. Your leg is injured. You can stay there for now. But don't do anything to hurt Handsome Sue. Otherwise we won't forgive you, Pudding said. I won't. I swear I don't mean any harm to Sue you, Zheng explained. Pudding was about to speak when Little Bean yelled, Sis, come out. The car outside looks like Mommy's car. Chapter 3402. Hearing that Mommy was here, Pudding was confused. She was afraid that Mommy would blame her for this. Huamin was pregnant with her second child and couldn't drive like before. Wherever he went, he was followed by a large entourage. There were also drivers who were extremely skilled. She had bodyguards with excellent shooting skills. In her own words, she was treated like a national treasure. So when Chin Chu's Mercedes-Benz RV, Huamin's personal car, came in, Pudding was shocked. The twins were terrified. My goodness. It's really Mommy. Pudding felt guilty. Damn it. Who tipped off Mommy? I'm going to kill her. Pudding thought Mommy should have gone to the hospital for a meeting early in the morning. Why was she here? If it's Zheng I won't forgive her. She's a scheming bitch. Pudding was agitated and pushed all the blame to Zheng. Don't talk nonsense. We haven't figured out what's going on yet. Don't blame a good person. I don't think Auntie Zheng would do such a thing. Pudding chatted with Zheng in the kitchen. Her instincts told her that Zheng wasn't a woman like Jian Tong. As soon as she said that, Huamin opened the door and walked in. President Hua. And was nervous when he saw Huamin. Even though they were close, he still felt pressured. Maybe it was because of the doctor's aura. Huamin nodded and walked in. Since you're here. Lu Yan was very close to Huamin. You just got out of the hospital and you're already here? Huamin scolded her with concern. Ha. I'm bored to death. My niece brought me here for breakfast. Lu Yan chuckled. Auntie. You betrayed us so easily. Little Bean gritted her teeth in anger. What are you two up to this time? Huamin tilted his head and looked at his two daughters. Mommy, we thought that since Auntie was discharged today and you're busy with work, you wouldn't have time to take care of her. We talked to Handsome Sue and he volunteered to take Auntie to his house for breakfast, so we came, Little Bean said. See, you felt like he had become the scapegoat. What's wrong with your breakfast? Huamin looked at Suyu with a smile. No. I've been busy for the past few days and didn't have time to welcome your sister. Since I'm free today, I thought. Suyu couldn't justify himself. So you drove 10 luxury cars to pick up Yen like you were picking up the mayor? Huamian asked. You already know. How could I not know? You guys are on Weibo's hot search list. Can you please keep a low profile? Huamian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could this be on the hot search list? You people here must be bored. Lu Yan didn't think it was a big deal. Go. Come back with me for a checkup. I won't let you go until I know your brain is fine. Huamin held Lu Yan's hand. Sis, that's not necessary, right? Huamin glanced at Lu Yan's face coldly. Ah, of course. Sis, you're pretty and everything you say is right. Lu Yan didn't spend much time with her sister and didn't want to upset her. Therefore she cared about Huamin's mood. Seeing that her sister was unhappy, she immediately changed her words. You two come with me. Mommy, Little Bean was about to say something. If I remember correctly, today isn't the weekend. So Miss Qin Zhao Zhao and Miss Qin Mumu, are you two going to skip school? Do you want me to call Mr. Qin Chu now? Huamin stared at the twins, scaring them so much that they didn't even dare to breathe. Chapter 3403. Mommy will go right away. Don't be mad. Little Bean immediately tried to please her mother. Mommy, can we ask Handsome Sue to drive us? Or Uncle and can? Little Bean was a bit scared. I'll drive you. Get in the car. Huamin's expression was serious. The twins didn't dare to say more and followed the chauffeur into the car. Sis, it's not their fault. Lu Yan saw her sister was unhappy and wanted to speak up for the twins. But Huamin interrupted her. Yan, wait for me in the car. Lu Yan didn't dare to say more and got into the RV with the twins. Huamin turned to look at Suyu. Dr. Hua, if you're angry, take it out on me. I asked them to stay last night and took them to the hospital today. Suyu was afraid the twins would be scolded. After all, Huamin was famous for being strict with the kids, so he took all the blame. Whoa. You're a hero. Uncle Lei. Huamin sneered. No. Dr. Hua, let's talk nicely. Don't be so sarcastic, okay? Suyu hated Huamin the most. Yeah. President Hua, please sit down. And immediately brought over a chair. Huamin didn't sit down. She was 4 months pregnant and her belly was big. Wearing a Korean-style dress with lotus leaf sleeves, she looked like a pretty girl from a humble family. However, she didn't look like a pregnant woman. She was wearing a pair of flats, but her feet were slightly swollen. Maybe it was because she was pregnant. Alright, it's been a morning and you guys haven't had a good rest. Hurry up and go do your own things. Huamin didn't say anything and didn't blame Suyu. Myung. Suyu was worried. Suyu, where's Seung-ro? Can I talk to her? Huamin said. She's in the kitchen. Suyu pointed at the kitchen. Huamin slowly walked over. Did you tell Myeon? Suyu pointed at An and asked. It really wasn't me, President Su. I swear. And looked aggrieved. Then who is it? How did she know we were here? Suyu was puzzled. How long had it been since he came back? Huamin suddenly came to visit. Inside the kitchen, Seung-ro didn't plan to meet Huamin. After all, if she went out to greet him, she would be seen as flattering, and if she didn't say anything, she would be seen as arrogant. Therefore, she deliberately hid in the kitchen and cleaned here and there, not going out. However, she did not expect Huamin to take the initiative to look for her. Seung-ro. Seung-ro looked back a little guilty. She was living in Suyu's place and had no status there. She was afraid that Huamin would beat around the bush and say something so she could be shameless in front of Suyu. But as a woman, if she was scolded in front of Huamin, she would be embarrassed. I'm sorry about today, Huamin said. Huamin's sudden apology shocked and confused Seung-ro. Pudding and Little Bean are very obedient. Maybe it's because they are too close to Suyu that they are hostile to you. They deliberately gave you a hard time and brought you a lot of trouble. It's my fault as their mother. I'll discipline them when I get back. No. Dr. Hua, Pudding and Little Bean are fine. They didn't give me a hard time. Seung-ro immediately waved her hand, not wanting to cause trouble. The children thought she had bad intentions. I'm sorry about the breakfast. You've been busy all morning. Seung-ro could tell that Huamin knew what had happened here. It's okay. Even if Pudding and Little Bean aren't here, I still have to make breakfast. And Suyu are used to it. I just made a little more today. Huamin didn't say anything. He took out a business card from his bag, wrote a few words and handed it to Seung-ro. Find me at Southside Recuperation Center in an hour. Then Huamin turned and left. Seung-ro held the business card from Huamin, still in shock. Chapter 3404. Huamin didn't talk to Seung-ro for long before he turned around and left. Myeon, have you had breakfast? Suyu asked. Yes. I'm going to work now. You should go too. Yan's just recovered from her injury and I don't want her to run around. After saying goodbye, Huamin got into her car and left. President Hua doesn't look happy, and murmured. Do I need you to tell me that? I could tell the moment she walked in. That's strange. Who informed President Hua? And was puzzled. Suyu didn't say anything. Could it be Miss Seung-ro? And suspected instinctively. After all, there were only a few people here and Lu Yan hadn't called him on the way here. He had been with Lu Yan the whole time. The twins didn't dare to say anything and Suyu wouldn't tell anyone. So Seung-ro was the only suspect left. It wasn't me, Seung-ro said as she walked out of the kitchen. And was so embarrassed that he felt cancer was about to explode. Immediately he stood up. I'm going to clean the car. President Su, call me when you leave. And immediately found an excuse and left. Otherwise he wouldn't be able to face Seung-ro. In fact, he was just guessing and was surprised that Seung-ro had heard him. Embarrassed, Suyu turned around and glanced at Seung-ro. And was just guessing. He meant no harm. Don't be angry. I'm not angry. It's normal for you to think that way. But I'm curious how Huamin knew about this. She seems to know everything, including that I made breakfast. Just now Suyu looked at Xingro and didn't continue. Obviously Xingro knew what he was going to say. Huamin apologized to me. I felt she was angry. I'm afraid the twins will be scolded. Do you want to go and beg for mercy? I don't dare. No one can stop me from scolding the kids. Suyu was exasperated. She asked me to go to the hospital to see her. See her? Suyu was more confused. Yes. Did he say anything? No. Xingro shook her head. Mion is so weird today. Suyu muttered to himself. Inside the motorhome the atmosphere was very oppressive. On the spacious seats the four of them sat facing each other. In the middle was a small coffee table. Huamin and Lu Yan sat on one side while Pudding and Little Bean sat on the other. The car drove steadily on the road. Tell me what's going on between the two of you. Huamin's face was cold. Mommy, what are you talking about? Little Bean played dumb. Pudding just bit her lip and didn't say anything. Don't play dumb. Whose idea was it to ask Xingro to make breakfast for you this morning? Huamin asked sternly. Only then did the two children realize the seriousness of the matter. Both of them remained silent. Sister, how did you know about this? Did someone snitch on us? Lu Yan thought her subordinates might have told her sister about it. But on second thought she didn't think it was right. When she left, her subordinates also left the hospital and didn't see her sister. Yan, don't interrupt. Huamin didn't want Lu Yan to interfere with him disciplining the twins. You have 3 seconds. Tell me whose idea was it? Huamin glanced at his daughters. Today they were wearing white short-sleeved shirts and navy suspenders with bows on their collars. It was a beautiful school uniform. Mommy, it was me. Mommy, it was me. To their surprise, the two children spoke in unison. So, it was your idea, right? Huamin asked word for word. Chapter 3405. The twins fell silent again. Hey. Now let me ask you, why did you do this? Huamin asked. Little Bean glanced at her sister, trying to figure out what her sister meant. After a moment of hesitation, Pudding decided to tell the truth. Otherwise, with her intelligence, her mom would have guessed it. Mommy, we just wanted to help handsome Su check Auntie Xingro's character. So, Suyu is an adult and doesn't have enough intelligence, so he needs the help of 3-year-old kids, right? No, Mommy. Pudding, Little Bean, Mommy is heartbroken. Daddy and I have been so busy with work that we neglected to educate you. I thought you two were obedient and sensible, but I didn't expect you to be so stupid when it comes to Suyu's private life. Mommy, handsome Su treats us like his own children and we think it's our duty to do something for him. You had good intentions, but what you did was ridiculous. Do you think Auntie Xing can't see it? Xingro is smart, she can pretend to like you and get along with you and pretend to be a good person. If she has a bad temper and treats you badly, it doesn't mean she's a bad person. Maybe she just doesn't like you too. Your logic is ridiculous. Sis, you can't blame them for this. Lu Yan had never seen her sister scold the kids, so she tried to defend them. Yan, if you say one more word, you'll get out of the car and take a taxi to the hospital to find me. I'll shut up. Lu Yan didn't dare to say more and had to leave the kids to their own devices. Mommy, let me ask you, does handsome Su love us? Pudding suddenly got the courage to stand up and ask Huamin. He does. He's so nice to us. What's wrong with us caring about his private life? Pudding continued. That's right. Handsome Su has always been popular with women. With his status, besides the actresses from Imperial Star, he also has a lot of socialites, models and hosts. What's wrong with us helping him distinguish the good from the bad? Pudding said. That's the problem. Suyu is a smart man with a high IQ. He was a soldier and a businessman. Besides his family background, he got all his achievements by himself. He's not a good-for-nothing and can't be tested by you two. Suyu knows what kind of person Xingro is. What you did to Xingro today would seem spoiled and uneducated in the eyes of outsiders. Mommy, we're not. Little Bean felt that her mommy's words were too harsh, so tears welled up in her eyes. His voice was also as soft as a mosquito's. Mommy, I don't agree with you. I think we're doing this for handsome Su's sake. Auntie Xingro seems okay for now, but we need to observe her later. Whether Suyu is with Xingro or any other woman, you're not allowed to interfere in this matter, including me and your dad. Our family is close to the Su family, but we're not close enough to tell Suyu who he's with. Love is limited to the feelings of the people involved. You're still young and don't understand some things. Huamin thought the kids were still young and couldn't talk too much about the godly things. They might not understand it immediately. Mommy, don't be angry. You're pregnant with little brother. Little Bean cried and apologized to her mother. Hearing her sister's words, the domineering Pudding softened. Are you guys still curious about how I know all this? Huamian asked. The kids looked at each other, thinking their mommy had guessed correctly. Do you also think it's most likely Zheng Ro called me and told on you? Huamin asked. So it's her? Pudding looked at her mother calmly, eager to know the answer. Chapter 3406. It wasn't her, Huamin said calmly. The twins were surprised. After all, other than Zheng Ro, who else could snitch on them? Auntie, was it you? Little Bean turned to look at Lu Yan. Do you think your auntie is that kind of person? Snitching every day? Lu Yan was skeptical. Mommy, how did you know about this? Little Bean was puzzled. If Zheng Ro didn't say anything, the others wouldn't snitch on them. I saw it on the surveillance camera in the hospital, Huamin said calmly again. Surveillance camera? Little Bean was surprised. Oh, I know. Mommy must have gone to the hospital to pick up Auntie and found she was discharged. Then she checked the surveillance camera and heard our conversation at the door. Yes. Huamin nodded. It seems we misunderstood Auntie Zheng Ro. We really thought it was her. Little Bean bit her lip and said in a low voice. Whether she snitched on us or not, I must tell you seriously that you can't meddle in Suyu's affairs anymore. Huamin's expression was still serious. Mommy. Little Bean began to play coy. Don't play coy. I'm talking about a very serious problem. Don't you think you've meddled enough? Huamin's face was cold. That's because we don't treat ourselves as outsiders. Handsome Su treats us like family, Little Bean argued. But as family you should give him some space. Even Lord Su and Grandma Su didn't meddle this time. But you're making trouble for him. Scolded by their mommy, the twins lowered their heads and didn't speak. This is my first and last warning about breakfast. You're on your own now. Then Huamin looked out the window. We've arrived at the school. Get out of the car. Goodbye, Mommy. Goodbye, Auntie. Little Bean got out of the car listlessly with her backpack. Goodbye, Mommy. Goodbye, Auntie. Pudding also seemed to feel wronged. She couldn't see the problem from a mother's point of view and still felt that she was too strict with them. After the kids got out of the car, Lu Yan walked up to Huamin and held his arm. Sis, just now weren't you a little too much? No. I think the two kids are scared. Lu Yan felt sorry for the two kids. Lu Yan, don't be fooled by their looks. They have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. They pretended to be pitiful so that I won't blame them anymore. Do you think they're really scared? Your family members are so complicated. Lu Yan thought it was hard enough to get along with the family of 4. If the third kid came out, would they make a scene? Yeah. Do you think it's easy to educate kids? You gave birth to them and brought them into the world, so you have to teach them how to be a good person instead of letting them fool around. I don't want to raise 2 kids with princess syndrome. I don't want people to say that I, Huamin, didn't teach my kids well. Whoa. You're still young. Don't talk like a mother. It's depressing to hear it. Let's not talk about them. Didn't you take me to the checkup? Lu Yan didn't want to talk about parenting with her sister. After all, she didn't even know how to be in a relationship. At Southside Recuperation Center, Huamin didn't let Lu Yan go until he made sure she was fine. Zheng Ro arrived too. She came alone in a taxi, which surprised Huamin. He had thought Suyu would come with her. Dr. Hua, I'm here. Zheng Ro knocked on the door. Chapter 3407. Come in. Huamin sorted out the data sheets on the desk and stood up. Zheng Ro walked in and glanced around Huamin's office. She heard that she was now a deputy director, but her office wasn't luxuriously decorated or bright. Instead, it looked like an ordinary doctor's office. Most importantly, it was simple and clean. Sit down. What would you like to drink? I can do it myself. Seeing Huamin's pregnant belly, Zheng Ro didn't want her to pour herself water. Huamian didn't argue. She nodded and handed the disposable cup to her. There are tea and coffee downstairs. Pour yourself some. Hey, I'll just drink some water. Xingro poured herself a cup of water from the water dispenser and sat down on the black sofa. Both of them were silent. Huamin received an internal call and assigned some tasks. Xingro sat there and waited quietly. After Huamin hung up the phone, she said hesitantly, "Dr. Huo, let me. Oi. I heard you hurt your leg. Let's go to the orthopedics department." Before Zheng Ro could react, Huamin took her to the orthopedics department. Obviously, she was familiar with the doctors in the orthopedics department. After taking Zheng Ro's X-ray, a nurse helped her to rest. Huamin held the X-ray and discussed something seriously with the chief physicians. After a while, Huamin walked over. "Do you still feel pain in your leg?" "Not usually. But if you walk too fast or walk too much, you will." "Yes, we found out that you might have gotten out of bed before you recovered from your injuries. Moreover, you exercised quite a lot and were too active, which caused a small bone to be dislocated." "Huh? Is it serious? Do I need surgery?" At the mention of surgery, Zheng Ro was frightened. "It's not that bad. You just need to continue to rest. You can't walk around too much. I'll prescribe you some anti-inflammatory medicine. Remember to take it. The weather is hot now, so you must change the medicine in time. If it's not convenient for you to come, I can ask the nurse to change it for you at home." "That's not necessary. I can't stay idle. I'm bored at home. I'll just come and change once a week." "Yes, that's fine too." At this time, the nurse who had been sent away by Huamin came back with a bag full of medicine. There were both Chinese and Western medicine, and they all looked quite expensive. "Take these back. There's a list inside that will tell you how to eat them. You have to eat them on time." "Hey. How much is it? Where do I pay?" Zheng Ro stood up to grab her purse. "No need, I've already settled the bill." "Oh? How can I do that? How can I do that?" Zheng Ro was a bit embarrassed. She didn't know Huamin that well, and it wasn't appropriate for her to ask him to spend money on her. "It's okay. You're Su Yu's friend, so you're also my friend." Then Huamin handed the medicine to Zheng Ro. "Little Cui, call a taxi for Miss Zheng and send her to the car," Huamin said. "Okay, Vice Director." "Huamin, thank you." Zheng Ro felt warm in her heart. In all her life, other than her parents, no one had ever been so nice to her and even called a taxi for her. All the people Zheng Ro knew about her identity and wanted to use her to get on her father's good side. So she wasn't used to Huamin being so nice to her all of a sudden. Watching Zheng Ro walk away, Huamin's expression changed. At noon in the cafeteria of Southside, sitting across from Huamin was Lady Su. Ever since Huamin found her a management job in the hospital, Lady Su had been very active and came to work almost every day. She was kind and had a good relationship with many young nurses. Of course, some of them wanted to get close to Su Yu to get close to Lady Su. What do you think? What do you think of the kid's character?" Lady Su asked eagerly. Chapter 3408. Her character. "Looks good for now," Huamin said slowly. "What do you mean by okay?" Mrs. Su was probably too worried about her son. She didn't want her son to be impatient. She could only ask Huamin for help. Huamin didn't want to test people. While the twins were fooling around, she went to Su Yu's house. Then she would have a chance to talk to Zheng Ro without being suspected. "Auntie Su, Zheng Ro, how should I put it? She looks good. She doesn't look like a bad person. But there's one thing I'm curious about." "What is it?" "With her family background, it shouldn't be hard for her to find a boyfriend. Why does she have her eyes on Su Yu? I think she moved here too suddenly and is too enthusiastic about Su Yu. How should I put it? It's just a feeling. I don't have any proof. And you don't take it seriously. I haven't thought it through yet." Huamin analyzed slowly while eating. "Yeah. But I asked Xiaomei Yu's aunt. She said she's known Zheng Ro for years and has a good reputation in the provincial capital. She's a good girl." "You can't say that. And you think about it. Song Yisher has a good reputation and is a top student who came back from abroad. She's well educated. My mother-in-law was also fooled by her." "Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of. No matter how good Xiaomei's words are, I still have lingering fears. Mian, you're a smart girl. You and Chu will help us by helping you." Lady Su liked Huamin very much and had been close with him for years. She treated him as her own child and said whatever she wanted to say. Huamin nodded. "Not really. But Auntie Su, with your help I'll do my best. I'll keep an eye on Zheng Ro. If I find she's a threat to Sue you, I'll tell you. Yeah. You listens to you the most. Don't let him be charmed by this woman and find out she has ulterior motives. It'll be too late. I don't think so. I asked Chin Chu to investigate Zeng Ro's background for me. Her father's position has been stable and he hasn't been transferred recently. I don't think he'll let his daughter get close to Su Yu and use his influence to get a promotion. Besides, at his age and position he doesn't have much room for promotion. Zeng Ro hasn't interacted with Su Yu in the past few years, so I'm confused by her sudden appearance. But we can't assume the worst. Maybe she really likes Su Yu. It'll be great if she really likes him. It'll be a happy marriage. Distance tests a horse's strength and time reveals a person's heart. Although I'm anxious about Yu's marriage, I still need to know the person first. And Su, you're wise. Huamin admired this senior who never messed around and knew when to stop. My generation is old. It's the age of the internet, the world belongs to you young people. Lady Su smiled and didn't say more. After the inspection, Lu Yan went out to have fun. She found it hard not to spend money when she was free. Maybe it was because she had too much money. So she rushed into the mall and bought a lot of things for Huamin and his family. Finally, she stood at the entrance of the mall with big and small bags in her hands, wondering how she could carry so many things. She asked her subordinates to come down. Lu Yan thought it was too ostentatious and didn't want to be with them. It was annoying to have 4 or 5 subordinates wherever she went. Finally, an idea came to her. She picked up her cell phone and called an "Hello? Who is this?" and looked at the unfamiliar number curiously and almost thought it was a scam. "Hello, sir. I'm from the XX Public Security Bureau. Our bank found that one of your cards has recently spent 183 million yuan overseas. Did you spend it yourself?" Lu Yan tried hard not to laugh. Chapter 3409. Yes. I spent it, and had seen too many scams like this, so he answered calmly. Damn it. I didn't know you were so good at bragging. You look so honest. Lu Yan couldn't help but raise her voice. Lu Yan. And seemed to recognize her voice and chuckled to himself. It's me. I'm going to be crippled. Come and help me. But you fought with someone? And was scared out of his wits. I'll tell you when you get here. I'm at the entrance of Enchanting department store. I'll give you 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Hey. I'll talk. Before An could finish his words, Lu Yan hung up the phone in a domineering tone. He's so arrogant now? She fought in front of a department store? The more An thought about it, the more scared he became. Although they hadn't known each other for a long time, and knew Lu Yan's simple and violent personality. He knew she was the kind of woman who would fight without warning. So he immediately turned around and asked for leave from Su Yu. President Su, I want to take leave. Oh. Su Yu buried his head in the files. Don't mess around, President Su. Am I messing around or are you messing around? You're single like me. Why do you need to take leave? Su Yu seemed to know his sidekick very well. Dr. Hua's sister is fighting with someone. I have to go and help her. Fighting? Su Yu looked up. Yeah. Lu Yan has a bad temper. She's only been here for a few days but she's fighting almost once a day, and counted on his fingers. Lu Yan's not easy to deal with either. Su Yu felt a headache coming on. She has a good personality. At least she's simple, and bit his lips and said shyly. Forget it. I don't like her. If I marry her I'll have to worry about her. Su Yu shook his head. Although he had a bad temper, the girl he liked had the opposite personality. He liked quiet girls. Of course, it was only after he fell in love with Huamin that he concluded that he liked someone with a high IQ who was calm and steady, and who had an indifferent personality. Su Yu thought that Lu Yan was like gunpowder and would explode at the slightest touch. Normal men wouldn't be able to stand her. Of course, the man who could become Lu Yan's other half couldn't be an ordinary man. All right, President Su, I'm leaving. Oh yeah, I'm driving the Lamborghini. As An spoke, he walked to the table, took the key and left. This kid. I'm not done yet. Su Yu looked at Anne's anxious back view and smiled helplessly. In fact, it wasn't too far from Imperial Star to Enchanting department store, but because they were both in the city center, there was a lot of traffic. Shaoan was afraid that he would miss the appointment, so he sped all the way out of the door. Moreover, he sped all the way through small holes. At this time he didn't care about breaking the rules and just sped all the way. Finally, the car stopped in front of Lu Yan at the appointed time. How was it? I'm not late, right? And got out of the car panting. No, it's exactly 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Lu Yan smiled. Where is he? And looked around but didn't see anyone else. Who is he? Didn't you say you were going to cripple me? Yeah. Look at all these things. How can I carry them? My hands will be crippled if I carry them back. Lu Yan pointed at the trophies on the ground. And what are you waiting for? Help me carry them. Seeing that Lu Yan was fine and was relieved. When he took the things from Lu Yan, he accidentally noticed a detail. Lu Yan's palm was full of calluses. It didn't look like the delicate hand of a girl in her early 20s. What are you looking at? Lu Yan patted An on the shoulder. Chapter 34:10. Your hands. And looked at Lu Yan's hands and didn't know what to say. Oh, my skin is rough. I can't help it. Lu Yan smiled faintly. How did you get it? I was born with it. And, seeing Lu Yan lie so confidently and didn't know what to say. Where are we going now? Do you want me to drive you back to South Hill Manor? And asked. It's still early. Let's have lunch together. I want to thank you for coming to my rescue. Lu Yan smiled from the passenger seat. Lunch is fine, but you have to promise me one thing. Whoa. How dare you bargain with me when I'm treating you to lunch? Kid, do you want to die? Lu Yan looked at An amused. I don't care. If you don't promise me, I won't eat lunch with you. And was determined. Hey. Tell me what's the matter. Can you promise me that you won't fight with others? And looked at Lu Yan helplessly. Lu Yan, you make it sound like I often fight with others. Lu Yan looked at An in disdain. Miss Lu Yan, think about it. You've only been here for a few days. How many times have you fought? And looked at Lu Yan with even more disdain. It's just a small fight. Hey, don't make a fuss about it. I don't care. If you don't promise me, I won't eat lunch with you. You'd better go back to South Hill Manor or go to Southside. You seem to listen to Dr. Hua. No. I promise you. Let's go and eat first. The twins went to school while Huimin went to work. Only Huimin's in-laws lived in South Hill Manor. Lu Yan didn't want to go back, so she didn't want to. Seeing Lu Yan agree without hesitation, and nodded and felt relieved. What do you want to eat for lunch? And asked. Do you have anything special here? Does Axian's ramen count? And asked. To be honest, and didn't like ramen before. Later, when Siu went there for some reason and went there a few times. To his surprise, he found himself addicted to the ramen at that restaurant. If he didn't eat for a few days, he would feel uncomfortable all over. Damn it, I'm not going. Lu Yan immediately shook her head at the mention of Axian's ramen. Isn't that the place where my sister and brother-in-law got engaged in high school? That small noodle stall costs 2 yuan a bowl. To be honest, Lu Yan really thought it was delicious. Why? My sister and brother-in-law went to Oaxin to eat noodles. What they ate was feelings and memories of their youth. Do you understand? Why should we join in the fun? No, I really think that ramen restaurant is delicious. Delicious my ass. It's just a psychological effect. I'm not going. I want hot pot. When Lu Yan said she wanted to eat hot pot, and didn't dare to object. Then can we go to Shu Xiang restaurant? The hot pot there is more famous. Sure. Crossing her legs, Lu Yan put on her sunglasses and looked out the window. And drove Su Yu's Lamborghini all the way to a special hot pot not far away. Meanwhile in Moscow. Young master, that's basically it. His subordinate sent the latest information and videos to his phone. He opened it and his face darkened immediately. That damned woman Lu Yan came to China to eat hot pot with a gigolo? He looked down and saw the information of this person clearly. It turned out that he was Su Yu's bodyguard. It seemed that Yen and Su Yu didn't have much to do with each other, but she was having fun with his bodyguard. 3 minutes later, Qiao Fei picked up his phone and made a call. On the other end of the call in China. When An and Lu Yan got out of the car and walked inside, they saw a sign on the hot pot restaurant saying closed. Then the customers inside were being driven out one by one. Hey, what's going on? Lu Yan was curious. We're closed. Please go somewhere else. It's noon. You're not open? Are you having fun? Lu Yan was puzzled. Was this hot pot restaurant crazy? Chapter 34:11. We're closed. Let's go. The waiters of the hot pot restaurant began to clear the place impatiently. Fuck. With Lu Yan's bad temper, she must be the kind of person who would open the restaurant whether she wanted to or not. Before Lu Yan could lose her temper and stopped her. You promised me you wouldn't fight. Lu Yan was at a loss for words. Wait here. I'll go and ask. And walked up and said to the waiters, I'm Lord Su's bodyguard. Our Lord Su is a regular customer here. What's wrong with you today? What do you mean? I'm sorry. We really can't open the restaurant. But I brought Lord Su's customer here for dinner. What you did made our Lord Su unhappy. Will you bear the consequences? And knew how to lie through his teeth and use Su you to scare the waiters. Wait a moment, sir. I'll ask our manager to talk to you. Hearing that they were Lord Su's people, the waiters didn't dare to offend them and had to find the manager. When the manager came out, he immediately recognized and Mr. N, is Lord Su here? Lord Su asked me to bring a customer here for dinner. But today it's really... The manager seemed to want to say something but stopped. What on earth happened? And frowned slightly, feeling that something was wrong with this restaurant and that it must be hiding something. To tell you the truth, 5 minutes ago, we received a call from the boss saying that someone booked the whole restaurant and didn't allow us to open the restaurant today. Who is it? How dare you talk so big? Shaowen was speechless. I don't know. The boss didn't say. Hey, I won't make it difficult for you. Seeing that the manager didn't seem to be lying, and turned around and walked back. What did he say? Lu Yan asked. He said someone booked the whole restaurant. Fuck. Who booked it? I'll pay 5 times the price. Just give it to me. Lu Yan was rich. He's probably a friend of the boss. It might not be a matter of money, and explained. What the fuck? Let's go to another restaurant. No, I want to eat here. If he doesn't let me eat today, I'll smash his restaurant. Lu Yan was furious. You promised me that you wouldn't fight. Shaowen brought up the band-tightening spell again. Yeah, but I didn't promise you that I would destroy the store. Lu Yan's self-righteous look made him speechless. Moscow young master Miss Yan wants to destroy the shop. What should we do? A man asked anxiously in the video. Smash the store? He's really something. Qiao Fei was both angry and amused. Yes, the boss asked me to ask you what to do. She didn't know what Qiao Fei said. 3 minutes later, the manager walked out and glanced at An and Lu Yan. Our boss agreed to your request. Right. Can we go in and eat now? Lu Yan said proudly. But only you are allowed to go in. Mr. Shaowen can't. The manager said. Why? Lu Yan was dumbfounded. I don't know the details. Our boss gave us the order. Is your boss an idiot? I'm here to eat with my friend. How can he let my friend wait outside? Lu Yan rolled up her sleeves ready to go all out. His vow not to fight had been forgotten in an instant. Beauty, calm down. Come with me. Someone wants to see you. See me? Lu Yan was surprised. Lu Yan, don't go. It's dangerous. And felt more and more that this hot pot restaurant was sneaky. It's fine. If I go in, they'll be in danger. If you dare to lie to me, I'll raze your restaurant to the ground. Lu Yan threatened him as she swaggered into the room, and was stopped outside the door. Where's he? Who wants to see me? Lu Yan yelled impatiently. Chapter 34:12. Lu Yan felt that if the bastards in the hot pot restaurant dared to trick her, she would be in big trouble. Then today, one by one, they would all be taken down here. She was ready to show off her skills. But at this moment she heard a familiar voice. Lu Yan, after you came back to China, did you let yourself go? Psycho Qiao? Lu Yan was dumbfounded. She turned around abruptly and saw the manager of the hot pot restaurant holding a cell phone with trembling hands. On the screen of the cell phone was a silver-haired man sitting in a Russian-style chair. Wearing a double-breasted navy military uniform, he looked demonic. You. Lu Yan felt like she had to teach him a lesson. This damned guy didn't reply to her messages or pick up her calls. She thought they would continue their Cold War, but he suddenly appeared in the hot pot restaurant. You're a woman who doesn't keep her word. Again. Lu Yan was exasperated. I shouldn't have believed you. Qiao Fei regretted it. Why did he listen to this woman's plan and live apart from her for so long? In China she lived a good life and had a man with her. But in Russia he had to face his cold father, his vicious second brother, and Amy, who was obsessed with him. Qiao Fei was furious. "Why don't you say that you and Amy talked bad about me behind my back?" Lu Yan tried to find fault with him. "You can eat and shop with a man?" Qiao Fei asked. That's right. Whatever I do is right. Whatever you do is wrong." "Lu Yan, can you be reasonable?" "I'm not Lu Yan if I'm reasonable." "What's reasonable? How much is 500 grams? Can it be eaten?" Lu Yan tilted her head and chuckled. "So, you think I can't do anything to you in Russia, right? What do you think?" Lu Yan continued to provoke him. "That man outside is Su Yu's bodyguard, right? What's your relationship with him?" "We're intimate. We're going to date soon." Lu Yan purposely tried to provoke Qiao Fei. "I'll give you one more chance. Tell me the truth or I promise I'll kill him in 5 seconds." Hearing his words, Lu Yan immediately turned around and ran to the entrance of the hot pot restaurant. And was still standing beside the Lamborghini, guarding the pair of trophies Lu Yan had bought, completely oblivious to her presence. Lu Yan looked around and was shocked. On the building diagonally opposite Shaoan, a sniper had appeared out of nowhere. He was already aiming at Shaoan. This wasn't a joke. Psycho Qiao had never been one to brag. Anne's life was really in danger. "Psycho Qiao, are you serious? What do you think?" Don't. Calm down. Lu Yan was scared and immediately gave in. "So, what is the relationship between the two of you?" "It's really nothing. My sister was worried that I'd be bored, so she asked Su Yu to keep me company. But Su Yu didn't have time, so he got a bodyguard to keep me company. He's an honest guy, so don't blame him. It's not his fault," Lu Yan finally explained. "Are you done?" "I'm done. There's really nothing. Don't you have spies in the country? You should be able to find out. Quick, get the sniper to come down. Don't accidentally fire and kill him." Lu Yan thought that if An was killed she would be fine, but how would her sister explain it to Su Yu? "Say you love me." Lu Yan was dumbfounded again. "Say you love me and I'll ask the sniper to come down," Qiao Fei said expressionlessly. He didn't seem to be joking at all. Chapter 34:13. "Fuck. Qiao Fei, you're shameless," Lu Yan cursed. 3 seconds. "Hey, didn't you give me 5 seconds?" Lu Yan was anxious. "I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Are you going to tell me or not?" Lu Yan looked around and saw the waiters of the hot pot restaurant were looking at her. How could she tell them? But if she didn't tell them with Psycho Qiao's temper, and would die immediately. At this moment Lu Yan had an idea. Pointing at the waiters she said, "You guys close your eyes and cover your ears." The waiters looked at each other. They didn't know who this girl was, but since the manager was so polite, they didn't dare to be rude. Immediately they closed their eyes and covered their ears. "And you?" Lu Yan pointed at the manager with the cell phone. "Beauty, I'll close my eyes but not my ears. I'm video chatting with you, right?" The manager said submissively. "Don't tell anyone what you hear or I'll kill you." Yes. I won't tell anyone." "Lu Yan, can you be more straightforward?" Qiao Fei was impatient. I love you, okay?" Lu Yan's voice wasn't very confident. "Your voice is too low. Don't cross the line, Psycho Qiao. Your voice is low. Say it again louder." Lu Yan held her breath and finally yelled at the man in the video. I love you so much. I love you so much." "That's more like it. You'd better behave yourself and keep a distance from men. Otherwise I don't mind slaughtering the whole city for you." Before Lu Yan could reply, Qiao Fei turned off the video. "Who the hell is he? He's a big psycho." Lu Yan was furious. Before those people opened their eyes, Lu Yan ran out. "What's going on? Who wants to see you?" And walked up immediately. Just a psycho. Ignore him." While speaking, Lu Yan glanced around and was relieved to see that the sniper was gone. "This restaurant is really strange. I'll get President Su to deal with them later. I'll take you to another hot pot restaurant." No thanks. Can you send me back to South Hill Manor? I'm a little tired and want to take a nap." "But you haven't eaten yet. Aren't you hungry?" Not hungry. Just sleepy." "Alright, I'll send you back." And didn't know why Lu Yan changed her mind so quickly. She said she didn't want to eat after a while. Moreover, he didn't smash the shop and went home obediently. After driving Lu Yan home, and was still worried, so he drove to buy Lu Yan's favorite lotus leaf rice noodles and packed them for her. He handed it over to the security guards of South Hill Manor. Standing by the window upstairs, Lu Yan looked at An, who was carrying the lotus leaf powder, and felt guilty. Don't fall in love with someone like me. People like me have no future. Su Yu finished his work in the company. Seeing that An was not back yet, he drove the company's Mercedes-Benz out. Inside a luxury jewelry store. Hello, sir. How can I help you? I'd like to buy a pair of shoes, Su Yu said. I'm sorry. We only have women's shoes here. The men's shoes are downstairs. The shop assistant smiled warmly. No, I want to buy women's shoes. I want to give them to someone. You want to give them to your girlfriend, right? What kind of shoes do you want? Come in and take a look. Then I'll introduce them to you. Hearing that he wanted to give them to someone, the shop assistant became enthusiastic again. Su Yu walked in shyly and looked at the dazzling collection of women's shoes on the shoe cabinet. Chapter 34:14. I want to buy the flat-soled ones that are comfortable to wear. Are you pregnant? The saleswoman was also very nosy. Pregnant women wear them. Su Yu thought about it and decided to tell the truth. Then I'll take this one. This is our new autumn collection. The climate in the north changes very quickly. The weather will turn cold soon, so you can't wear sandals anymore. This kind of calfskin flat-soled shoes are the most popular. The soles are very soft. Can you touch them? The saleswoman picked up the shoes and showed them to Su Yu. He had never bought shoes for a woman before, so he didn't know much about them. However, the soles were indeed very soft. That day he saw Humin come to his house in the morning. She was wearing a pair of very ordinary black flat-soled shoes, but it was obvious that the shoes were already too small. After Humin became pregnant, she probably walked a lot, so her feet often became swollen. Therefore, the original size no longer fit her feet. Su Yu thought about buying a pair of flat-soled shoes for her. They are quite soft. What colors do they come in? This one comes in 3 colors: black, white, and pink. Then, give me a pair of each. You want all 3 pairs? The saleswoman was shocked. Yes, wrap them up. Sir, because this is a new design, there is no discount. The unit price for 1 pair is 8,600 yuan. If you add up all 3 pairs, it will be 25,800 yuan. I'll give you 30,000 yuan. The rest is a tip. Su Yu had always been generous. He was in a good mood to buy shoes that he liked. Can you pay for them for me? Of course, sir. Please wait a moment. The saleswoman was overjoyed. After selling luxury goods here for a long time, she realized that some rich people were actually very stingy. They were also very calculative when it came to buying things. There weren't many people who bought 3 pairs at once, and they even gave a few thousand yuan as tips. When Su Yu came out with the 3 pairs of shoes, he sent a WeChat message to Humin. Are you at the hospital? Yes. Then I'll look for you in a while. Okay. Humin had always been concise with her words. She rarely chatted with Su Yu when she had nothing to do. The relationship between the two of them was already delicate enough. Southside Sanatorium. Su Yu happily carried his shoes to Humin's office. To his surprise, he found Qin Chu there. Oh, you're here too? Su Yu greeted him awkwardly. Yes. What's the occasion today? Why are both President Qin and President Su here? Are you here for a physical examination? I'll give you a 20% discount. Humin joked. Don't mess around. I'm in good health. What's there to check up on? Su Yu laughed. At this time, Su Yu noticed that Humin was wearing new shoes. They were brown and had a simple design, but it was obvious that they were expensive. Did you change into new shoes? Su Yu asked. Yes. Mr. Qin gave them to me. He said that my feet have grown bigger and my old shoes were too small, so he bought me 8 pairs. As he spoke, Humin pointed behind him. Su Yu saw a small mountain of shoe boxes. These 8 pairs are for you to change into at the hospital. There are still 10 pairs at home, Qin Chu said. Oh my God. Are you crazy? Honey, why did you buy so many? Humin exclaimed. Wear them. I also bought 10 pairs for the baby. Huh. How can you buy shoes before the baby is born? Humin laughed. I saw them and bought them all. They're all from the same brand. It's no trouble at all. Chin Chu sat on the sofa and said to Huamin as he browsed the financial news. Seeing the two of them being so lovey-dovey, Suyu suddenly felt that he came at a bad time. Hey, why are you looking for me? Nothing. I'm here to see my mom and see you. Auntie Sue is still at work. Oh. Suyu nodded guiltily. What are you holding in your hand? Did you go shopping? Huamin noticed that Suyu was also holding something that looked like a shoebox. Chapter 34:15. I bought a few pairs of shoes, Suyu stammered. This is a women's shoe brand, right? Chin Chu put away his cell phone and glanced at the shoes in Suyu's hand. Oh. I bought them for my mom, Suyu said. Huh. What's the occasion today? Why did you all buy shoes? Luckily they're for Auntie. Otherwise you can't buy shoes for Zeng Ro, Huamin instructed. Why not? Don't you know? There's a legend that says it's not good for a boyfriend to buy shoes for his girlfriend because the shoes will fly. They're not butterflies. How can they fly? Do you still believe in this old superstition? By the way, did Yen cause you trouble this morning? Oh, Bu Yen is cute. Suyu scratched his head. Come on. You're too hypocritical. Our Yen isn't cute. He's hot-tempered. Huamin chuckled. He's okay. And keeps her company and I don't have much contact with her. I don't think she's hot-tempered. Let's have dinner together when you're free. Bring your girlfriend. Chin Chu stood up and said. Let's have dinner together. You guys talk. I'll go now. Suyu turned around and left the office. He didn't give the shoes he bought for Huamin. Her husband had bought them for her. What was he doing? Was he asking for trouble? Suyu regretted it. Chin Chu loved Huamin so much that he didn't have to worry about such trivial things. Then he took the shoes to his mother's office. Lady Sue's life had been much more fulfilling since she started working. She worked diligently and had lunch with Huamin at the hospital when she was free. Why are you here? Lady Sue was happy to see her son. She immediately stood up and walked over. I was passing by the hospital and came to see you. Are you here to see me? Lady Sue seemed to know her son well. You old lady, don't think too much. Alright, I bought you some shoes. After saying that, Suyu handed over the shoes. Buy shoes for me? Lady Sue was baffled. It wasn't a holiday nor was it her birthday. Why would he buy shoes? When she opened it, Lady Sue understood the design. You didn't buy this for me, right? You don't need to know who I bought it for. Anyway, I'm letting you wear it now. Suyu sat on the sofa in the office and opened a bottle of mineral water. Do you know what size I wear? Isn't it 37? Suyu was stunned. 37 is Mion's shoe size, Mom's shoe size is 38. It's okay. It will loosen after a while, Suyu said casually. What the hell is going on? Why didn't you give the shoes to Mion? Lady Sue felt that her son and Huamin were just friends, so it was normal for him to buy shoes. Why did he give it to her? Did Mion not want it? Lady Sue felt sorry for her son. No, I didn't give it to her. Look at you. Why didn't you give it to her? If you're embarrassed, I'll give it to her. Then Lady Sue took the shoe box and was about to leave. Mom, I just went. Chin Chu is inside. Chin Chu is there. You're not having an affair with Mion. It's not a big deal. She's pregnant. What's wrong with you caring about her? No, Chin Chu already bought shoes for Mion and he bought a lot of pairs. I didn't give it to her, Suyu said awkwardly. Seeing her son like this, Mrs. Sue's heart ached. Silly son. My silly son. Oh, it's okay. Wear it. If you don't, I'll give it to someone else. Then Suyu stood up and was about to leave. You take it back and give it to Xingro. She should be able to wear it and appreciate your kindness, Lady Sue suddenly said. Suyu stopped in his tracks. Chapter 34:16. I don't think it's a good idea. It's not for her anyway. What's wrong with it? If you and I don't tell anyone, no one will know. Just take it. Lady Sue hoped her son would take the initiative to follow Xingro. What if he had a chance with Xingro? Bracing himself, Suyu took the 3 pairs of shoes back. When he went back and was also back, Xingro was watching TV in the living room. You're back? Xingro looked back at Suyu. Yeah. Suyu's expression was unnatural. Wow, you went shopping and bought a lot of things. Seeing Su Yu carrying bags of various sizes, Zheng Ro half joked. Well, this is for you. Su Yu handed her 3 pairs of shoes awkwardly. For me. Zheng Ro was pleasantly surprised. Taking the box, she knew it was a pair of expensive shoes from an Italian luxury brand. But the moment she opened the box, she picked up the soles and glanced at the size. Then she understood everything. Well, I was going to give it to someone but didn't. If you don't mind, you can wear it. See, you never liked to lie. So he told Zheng Ro about the situation but didn't say it was for her. Well, thank you. I like it very much. Seeing Su Yu being so honest, Zheng Ro didn't hesitate anymore. Happy, she took out the 3 pairs of shoes and tried them on one by one. Su Yu, which color do you think looks good on me? Zheng Ro asked happily. Anything is fine. Su Yu didn't know how to choose women's things, so he couldn't tell what the color was. Damn it. You're just brushing me off. Forget it. I'll go ask. And then, Zheng Ro happily ran out with the shoes to find An, who was washing the car outside. Su Yu touched his nose, feeling it wasn't right to do this. At this moment his phone rang. It was an unfamiliar number. It didn't look like a domestic number. Oh. President Su, it's me. It was Nielingshuan's voice. Su Yu heard her voice and didn't know what to say for a moment. How have you been? Pretty good. How about you? It's good too. What followed was a 30-second silence, as if they couldn't find a topic to talk about. In fact, Nielingshan was a good person. She was kind, gentle, beautiful, hardworking, and good at acting. In the entertainment industry, he could be considered a breath of fresh air. However, with Su Yu's fiery temper, finding such a girl seemed to be very difficult. He still liked Huamin, whom he had first met at Southside. It was the Huamin who argued with him all day long. Therefore, when he chatted with a gentle person like Nielingshan, it was always awkward. Are you used to living in America? Are you used to the food? Su Yu tried to find a topic to talk about. It's pretty good. Most importantly, I can see Cece. She often flies over to visit me. That's good. Then study hard there. The company is waiting for you to come back. Su Yu. This time Nielingshan called Su Yu, not President Su. Yeah. I miss you very much. Perhaps because Nielingshan was on the other side of the ocean and holding a phone, she was much bolder than before. She directly told Su Yu that she missed him. Su Yu was very embarrassed. Take good care of yourself over there. Guns are legal in that country and every house has one. Sometimes the security is worrying. You go out with bodyguards and your agent. If you don't have enough money, tell me. I'll ask the company to give you money. Su Yu obviously changed the topic. Su Yu, have you ever thought of me? Even a little? Nielingshan didn't give up and brought the topic back again. Chapter 34:17. Su Yu was conflicted. If he said he wanted to, he really couldn't remember. If he said he didn't want to, it would be too heartless for her to call him all the way across the ocean. However, hearing Su Yu's hesitation, Nielingshan basically understood the situation. I understand. Then I'll leave you to it. Sorry to disturb you. Slightly disappointed, Nielingshan hung up the phone. In less than a minute, the phone rang again. Su Yu picked it up, thinking it was Nielingshan again. He said directly, I think you're doing well now. Let bygones be bygones. What the hell are you talking about? Lord Su, are you flirting with girls again? Do you want to dump them? Tang Chuan's voice sounded. Su Yu immediately cursed when he realized something was wrong. Damn, why don't you call with your own phone? That's expensive. I'm using the landline of my wife's company. How did Qi Ning raise you? Su Yu scolded angrily. My Ning said that even if you want to live off a woman, you have to look at the face. Lord Su, you're not qualified. Get lost. The two of them bickered for a while. At the company or at home? You make it sound like I have nowhere else to go except for the company and home. Su Yu laughed. What else? Or Southside? Do you want to die? Seeing Tang Chuan teasing him, Su Yu was both angry and amused. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going back. Hurry up and prepare a welcome dinner. Go to hell. You come and go to the States so many times a day. If I don't prepare a welcome dinner for you every time, I'll go bankrupt. No. Our Lord Su is a godly rich man. How can he go bankrupt? When are you coming back? Su Yu seemed to be in a good mood while chatting with Tang Chuan. Holding his phone, he lay down on the sofa. I'm flying tomorrow night. So soon. Why? Did you miss me? I missed you so much. He said. Alright, since you miss me so much, I'll settle down here for good this time. I won't go to America anymore. Where is Qin Ning? Of course my wife is with me. She's not going either. What about your father-in-law? He was curious. My father-in-law is still worried about the company and he is still young. He wants to continue working there for a few more years. When he retires in a few years, he will find a professional manager. Anyway, no one is willing to take over. My brother-in-law, Qin Chu, is also unwilling to take over. They're all busy with their own things. How can they have the time to care about other things? It's good that they're back. What do you mean? Are they back to get married? So you could tell that something was amiss. When I go back, help me plan a proposal. Ningning doesn't know about it yet. As long as she agrees, we can get married immediately. So fast. She was a little surprised. Even I think it's too slow. I want to get married right now. Are you two going to get on the bus first and then buy tickets later? Is Qin Ning pregnant? Su Yu wondered if something good had happened since they were in such a hurry. Nonsense. Well, Ningning is still young. We're not in a hurry to have a baby. Hey, when you come back we'll work on the proposal. Right. I heard my sister-in-law's younger sister came back. Was it fun? No, Su Yu answered directly. I saw Pudding and Little Bean video chatting with my wife. They kept talking about their auntie. My wife was a little jealous. You'll know when you come back. Su Yu didn't dare to comment too much about Lu Yen. At South Hill Manor, Huamin felt sleepy after sitting in the living room with her family for a while. She got up and walked to her bedroom. At this time her WeChat beeped. She opened it and saw it was a reminder from her classmates who tagged Huamin. Is Huamin there? So please answer. It's urgent. Chapter 34:18. I'm here. What's up? After meeting her classmates a few times, Huamin didn't want to hang out with them anymore. Her classmates' gatherings had changed. They were no longer as simple as they used to be. Other than being especially close to Zhu Lingling, she only hung out with Wei Dong occasionally. Wei Dong remembered that Huamin had helped him before and knew that she didn't need money now. Therefore, he often went to the countryside and brought back local specialties for Huamin's family. Wei Dong's mother would personally buy wool and knit scarves for the twins to express her gratitude. People who knew how to be grateful had a trace of kindness in their hearts. Huamin felt that although Wei Dong was a little naughty, he wasn't a bad person at heart. Qin Chu didn't comment on this matter. He didn't agree or disagree and gave Huamin absolute space to deal with her own matters. Wow, Goddess Hua, you're here. You actually replied within seconds. Hansu was a little surprised. Yeah, I'm usually here at night. Goddess Hua, I'm getting married this weekend. Can you come? Getting married? That's a good thing. Congratulations, Huamin said politely. Goddess Hua, we're classmates. You have to come. Previously, some of my classmates said that Huamin doesn't want to hang out with us now that she's married into a rich family. I didn't want to hear that. Goddess Hua has always been so approachable. How can that be? Right? Han Su's words meant that he was forcing Huamian to go. This was one of the things that Huamin hated the most about him. He was hypocritical, scheming, and especially good at spreading rumors. To put it bluntly, Han Su was actually a despicable person. It was normal for him to inform everyone about his wedding. However, he should have just called. Why did he have to announce it in the group in front of so many people? He wanted to make it so that Huamin couldn't refuse. Huamin had already left the group once. However, Han Su insisted on adding Huamin back, saying that they were classmates. Usually Huamin would block this group. Today he had directly Huamin. It was obvious that he had a motive. Sure, I'll definitely go. Huamin replied with a cold smile. That's great, Goddess Hua. Don't forget to bring gifts. With your current status, you'll definitely bring something good. Let poor people like us bask in your glory. Han Su was so utilitarian that he directly asked Huamin for a gift. Now that he had made it public, Huamin would not be able to give him a cheap gift even if he wanted to. Besides, couldn't they just give him money? Why did they need a gift? The reason was as follows. After Han Su finished speaking, another male classmate who had a good relationship with Han Su interrupted and sent a message in the WeChat group. Maybe you guys don't know, but our class rep Han's wife is the daughter of Deputy Director Wang of the local tax bureau. The wedding will be held at the Athena Hotel and there will be 100 tables. Also, they don't accept cash gifts, only gold. Don't embarrass yourselves. Upon hearing that they would accept gold, everyone began to mutter in their hearts. However, no one said anything in the group. After all, it was a public occasion. Just as everyone was about to awkwardly say something, Zhu Lingling suddenly came online and said, Han Su, you've found yourself a good father-in-law. What, are you going to marry into the family? Are you going to be a live-in son-in-law? You're the only son in your family. What about your parents? Zhu Lingling's shameless mockery of Han Su made everyone secretly happy. Even Huamin wanted to secretly cheer for Zhu Lingling. Hee Lingling, you're so funny. Han Su's expression was extremely ugly, but he didn't dare to offend Zhu Lingling because he knew that her husband was the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. He couldn't afford to offend her. Goddess Hua, Goddess Lingling, you must do me the honor of coming. Han Su emphasized that they should come. Chapter 34:19. We'll be there. Don't worry. Zhu Lingling took the lead in cheering them on. Some of the other students who were close to Han Su also chimed in. Wei Dong, who had been very active, didn't say anything. Finally, Huamin was about to turn off his cell phone when he received a private message from Wei Dong. Mian, don't go. Han Su is a bastard. Hee. Huamin chuckled. He asked for a gift from you. Gold. He's so shameless. He did it on purpose. I know. Don't go. I won't go. None of us should go. Does he think he's so great just because he married the director's daughter? Wei Dong cursed. But I'm curious. Didn't Han Su have a girlfriend who lived with him for years? She's from this city. Of course. That woman had abortions for him several times. Now that he's hooked up with a rich girl, he dumped her. That's disgusting. Huamin rarely spoke ill of others behind their backs, but Han Su's behavior made Huamin feel bad. After chatting with Wei Dong for a while, Huamin turned off his cell phone and went upstairs. After she got pregnant, Mr. Qin didn't let her use her cell phone anymore. He was being too careful about the radiation. Today Lu Yan seemed to have thought it through. She didn't want to share a bed with Huamin and went to the twins' room to join them. Mr. Qin was so grateful that he sent Lu Yan away. Finally, he could share a bed with his wife. Midnight, the husband and wife were chatting on the bed. Honey. Yeah. Did you embarrass Suyu in my office today? Qin Chu didn't say anything. You're too petty. Look at you. Huamin joked and pinched Qin Chu's face affectionately. Suyu, it's obvious she bought the shoes for you. That's because he has good intentions. It's normal for me to be jealous. I thought you didn't like to be jealous? Huamin smiled. There has to be a limit. My wife is pregnant now. Why should he buy shoes? I was just reminding him. Shouldn't he? Yes. You're right. In Huamin's eyes, Qin Chu's occasional stubbornness was especially cute. Sometimes she felt bad for Qin Chu because he was too sensible and too patient. It was said that only children who knew how to cry would get candy. All these years, only Huamin understood what Qin Chu had done in silence. Therefore she loved her husband from the bottom of her heart. Huamin hugged Qin Chu's neck tightly like a koala bear. Hubby, who do you think saved Huasiqian? I've been looking into it. So has Lu Yan. Qin Chu placed his hand on Huamin's belly, his eyes full of love. It's strange. How could such a big person be taken away so coincidentally? I feel like I'm releasing a tiger back into the mountains. Huamin murmured to herself. Of course. Huasiqian is fine, but if it's Jack, it's not a wise decision to let him go. But there's nothing we can do about it. Even someone as powerful as Yen couldn't stop him. That shows how powerful the enemy is. Yes, we only live in a small part of the world. There are many things outside of our lives that we don't know. Do you know how special your father's identity is? I know. Although I don't know what Dad has been researching all these years, it seems to be something that many people with bad intentions want to get their hands on. Not only Ian and the others but also many other underground forces. Otherwise, Yen and Dad wouldn't have been hunted down for so many years. What kind of thing do you think it is? Qin Chu patted Huamin's head dotingly. He liked to see his wife's intelligent analysis. She was so serious and beautiful. Chapter 34:20. Well, I don't know. I can't imagine it, but could it be a biochemical weapon? Humin laughed. Do you think we're watching a movie? Biochemical? Honey, you're really imaginative. Chinchu also laughed. Right. I almost forgot to tell you that I left the group before. Later, I was dragged back by Han Su and I haven't said anything since. You know, our classmates are no longer the same as before. They're not as good as Gao Ran's class. So what are they up to this time? Han Su said he's getting married this weekend. He hasn't gotten married yet? Chinchu didn't have much contact with Han Su. It could be said that in their class, Chinchu only remembered Zhu Lingling other than Humin. Oh, if it's a wedding then go. He went through so much trouble to drag you back to the group. Isn't it because he wants to receive gifts? Yes, but it's a little different this time. He said he won't accept gifts but only gold? Ha, shame on him. Chinchu rarely laughed at others, but what Han Su did this time really made him look down on him. I heard that it's the request of my father-in-law. He's the deputy director of the local taxation bureau, right? Lingling gossiped about it. A small local taxation bureau dares to accept gifts so blatantly. Isn't he afraid of making a big deal out of it? Maybe he's confident. Humin didn't think so. If you want to go then go. It's just a small matter. Well, after what he said in the group today, I can't not go. Then I'll go. What about you, honey? Do you want to go with me? Forget it. Every time we go to that group of mobs, something will happen. I'm not going. There's a lot of work in the company. You go but don't go alone. I know. I'll go with Lingling. No, I mean you have to take the bodyguards with you. Chinchu was now always worried about Humin's safety. I know. But if little Yen is willing to go with me, it's fine if we don't bring any bodyguards. Otherwise, people will think that I'm an important leader. It's really strange to have bodyguards everywhere I go. People will think that I'm a freak. Who said so? Those celebrities all have bodyguards. But I'm not a celebrity. Humin tilted his head and smiled. You are a superstar in my heart. Chinchu placed Humin's chubby little hand on his chest. Humin was a little embarrassed. Oh, that's so mushy. There's no one else here, so why are you showing off your love? Can I eat it myself? Chinchu hugged Humin and smiled gently. Chinchu loved these peaceful and warm days the most. Perhaps it was because they had been apart for too long, but now he felt that every minute and second he spent with Humin was beautiful. Honey, you've been sleeping better lately. Have you noticed? Yes. So, Dr. Huo, what kind of elixir did you give me? It's nothing much. It's just a small formula that I came up with. Chapter 34:21. You're innocent. My little princess, I've been helping you, but your mommy is too fierce and won't let me interrupt. Then don't interrupt. How can I help you if I don't interrupt? You can call for reinforcements. For example, Lu Yen looked at Little Bean curiously. Handsome Su can't do it. He's as important to my mommy as we are. My mommy won't show him any respect since she thinks he's spoiling us. So, should I call your daddy? Lu Yen chuckled. It's no use. My daddy is enchanted by my mommy's beauty and favors his wife. He won't help us. Then who can help us? You can ask Auntie Lingling and Auntie Xiaowei. Their words carry weight in front of mommy, Little Bean suggested. Why don't you just tell me you want Gao Buin to protect you? Pudding looked at her sister. Oh, so you're looking for your boyfriend. Lu Yen teased Little Bean. What boyfriend? Andy, don't talk nonsense. Gao Buin isn't my boyfriend yet. I just put him on the list of candidates and need to observe him. You're so young but you know how to cultivate a backup. You're amazing, Little Bean. Andy, have you ever thought of liking anyone other than Uncle Qiao? Little Bean began to gossip. Ahem. Who says I like Qiao Fei? I don't like him. He's shameless enough to like me. Lu Yen refused to admit it. Humph. You're just like my auntie. You've slept with Uncle Tang but still say you don't like him. You adults are so hypocritical. Lu Yen, auntie, ignore her. She's a gossipy woman. Come on. Can you help me check the stock? Pudding sat down beside Lu Yen with a tablet. Humph. You're annoying. I'll video call Buyun. Little Bean turned around and began to play on her cell phone. In Su Yu's private mansion, Su Yu and An were enjoying the cool air by the swimming pool while Zheng Ro was lying on the couch in the living room with a mask on her face. They didn't interfere with each other. It seemed they were used to this three-person relationship. President Su, is Miss Zheng going to stay here forever? It's up to her. If she wants to stay, she'll stay. If she doesn't, she'll leave. No matter how I see it, she doesn't want to leave at all, especially after you gave her so many pairs of shoes today. Isn't giving her shoes so that she can run away? Su Yu asked as he recalled the legend that Hu Min had told him. Bright you win. Xiao An admired his boss's crooked thoughts. President Su, can I ask you a question? Speak. Tell me, how does it feel to truly fall in love with someone? And looked at Su Yu curiously. Ba, is this a topic that two men should talk about? Su Yu felt that Xiao An was acting weird today. It's just a casual question. You said that I was just discharged from the army and didn't have much experience in society. The girls I met were all nice but revealed their true colors as soon as I got to know them. So, I guess I don't really like them. If I really like someone, would I want to see her every day? Yeah, it's true. I want to see her every day. Su Yu suddenly thought of Hu Min. So it's true, and murmured to himself. Huh. That's not right. And tell me the truth. Are you in love again? Su Yu felt and had been acting mysteriously these days. After all, I hang out with you every day. And chuckled. If you really like her, go and confess. What if you succeed? That's impossible. I heard that Miss Lu Yan has a boyfriend who's abroad. A long-distance relationship is even more unstable. How would you know if you don't try? You're such a coward. To think that you used to be a soldier. Don't tell others that you're my bodyguard. Shame on you. Boss, stop fooling around. Answer me another question. Go ahead. Su Yu opened a can of beer and leaned back. Tell me, under what circumstances would a young girl's hands be covered in calluses? Chapter 34-23. She did a lot of farm work. When my grandpa was young, he went to the countryside and did some farm work. That kind of manual labor really hurts his hands. Well, if she's a rich girl, she doesn't need to work at all. Then there's only one possibility. She plays with guns, Su Yu said casually. Yeah, that's what I think. Are you talking about Lu Yan? Su Yu thought and wouldn't ask this for no reason. Yes. Guns are legal in the United States. Every family has a gun. It's nothing strange. She can get a gun just like we can get a driver's license. Su Yu didn't think much of it. Well, I have a feeling that Miss Lu Yan's identity isn't that simple. And wasn't an idiot. After spending 2 days with Lu Yan, he couldn't see anything special about her. However, with Lu Yan's clean and vicious moves and her hands that played with guns all year round, his intuition told him that this woman wasn't simple. But she was only in her early 20s. How complicated could she be? Why do you care about her identity? If I like someone, I'll like her even if she's a demoness isolated by the whole world. If I don't like her, it's useless even if she's an angel loved by everyone. Su Yu threw out his theory. You're right. And seemed to enjoy Su Yu's words. He opened a can of beer and drank it. Then he stopped asking questions. He liked Lu Yan for sure. He couldn't doubt his own heart anymore. But he and Lu Yan. He didn't dare to think about it. With how fast Lu Yan spent money, and didn't even dare to think about how much money this woman had. South Hill Manor. Late at night, seeing the two kids fall asleep, Lu Yan tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. She got up, put on her clothes and prepared to drive out for some fresh air. However, when she reached the stairs on the second floor, Hu Min stopped her. It's so late. Where are you going? Sis, you're still awake? No. After I got pregnant, I didn't sleep as much. The baby keeps moving, Hu Min said in a low voice. Seems my little nephew is a naughty boy. Don't change the topic. Tell me, where are you going? I can't sleep, so I plan to go for a drive. No. Why? Because Dad called me and told me to keep an eye on you. He said that you always like to fight, Hu Min said. Sis, I'm not a troublemaker. Usually I won't attack unless I'm attacked, Lu Yan promised. Don't talk nonsense. You're a pretty little girl going out in the middle of the night. How could people not offend you? The public security in the city is good, but there are a lot of rich second generations who love to cause trouble and some hooligans who have evil intentions. If you want to go out during the day. Oh my God, sis, I'm really drunk with your way of thinking. Let's not talk about China. Even in Europe, I go out drinking in the middle of the night. That's why you always fight and even kill people, right? Huamin looked at Lu Yan. Lu Yan licked her lips and remained silent. Yan, killing too many people will make you sinful. You're still young. I don't want you to live the rest of your life with blood on your hands. Sis, killing people is just like you saving people. It's my job. It's been like this all these years. I won't change my mind because of your words. Don't try to persuade me, okay? If I could do it all over again and have a choice, I really want to be you and live the life you're living now. Huamin looked at Lu Yan with heartache. If I could do it all over again and have a choice, I want to be me. That way you can live a peaceful and happy life. Lu Yan's words made Huamin burst into tears. Sis, don't cry. Pregnant women can't cry. Lu Yan reached out her hand and wiped away Huamin's tears. Yan, let's go. I'll go out for supper with you. Go and get my R8. The key is in the box by the garage door. Lu Yan was dumbfounded. She didn't expect her sister to go out with her. Chapter 34-24. What are you talking about? Hurry up and go. But you... Lu Yan was dumbfounded. I'm fine. You'll protect me, right? Huamin chuckled. Without giving Lu Yan a chance, he pushed her out. Huamin didn't want Lu Yan to go out in the middle of the night, even though he knew she was good at fighting and wouldn't be hurt. But it wasn't good for Lu Yan to fight all the time. But looking at her pitiful face, Huamin felt bad for his sister and couldn't bear to see her like this. So he decided to go out with Lu Yan. In the middle of the night, the sisters drove away. No one in the family knew except for Qin Chu. No matter how good Huamin's prescription was, Qin Chu was still a light sleeper. Especially when Huamin got up, he woke up. Boss, what are your orders? Follow a young lady and protect them. Yes. Qin Chu knew Lu Yan was good at fighting, but to be sure he ordered his subordinates to follow Lu Yan. Lu Yan, who was driving, obviously knew the car behind them was to protect them, but she smiled and didn't say anything. The sisters drove out in the middle of the night and were indeed a bit willful. Sis, what do you want to eat? Anything is fine. I'm not picky. Just don't say Oxian's ramen. I really don't like it, Lu Yan told the truth. I'm tired of it, but your brother-in-law and I like it. I know. Can you stop torturing us all the time? Lu Yan tapped her fingers on the steering wheel and laughed. Finally, the sisters came to an agreement and parked the car in front of a wonton restaurant. It was already past midnight and there were almost no pedestrians on the road. The population in the north was small and the winter was very cold, so some of the older people moved south to warm places to enjoy the rest of their lives. According to statistics, the total population of the 3 northern provinces combined was less than that of a southern province. It wasn't an exaggeration. Ladies, what would you like to eat? The owner was an old man. Uncle, all you have here are wontons, right? Yes. We also have noodles. Forget it. I'm sick of noodles. Give us 2 bowls of wontons. Give my sister a bowl of wontons stuffed with fresh shrimp. I'll have pork and cabbage. Hey. One moment. Lu Yan and Huamin found a clean table in the corner and sat down. You don't come out for supper this late, do you, sis? Yeah, I used to go out with my husband when I wasn't pregnant. But with my current situation, he's very strict with me. Huamian smiled happily. Sis, all these years. Are you happy in that family? Does your foster mother treat you well? Lu Yan thought she could only talk about family matters when she was with her sister. Although my mother has a bad temper, she has been really good to me all these years. She doesn't know that I'm not her biological daughter. I heard that her child was swapped. She doesn't know that her child is dead. Huamin nodded. When I found out about this, I was so excited. I suddenly felt like I had a sister in the world. It was a wonderful feeling. Silly girl. Huamin's eyes were full of love. Unfortunately, Dad didn't let me see you. He was afraid we'd bring you trouble. Now that the truth is out, you're in danger. But at least we can be reunited. Sis, do you know? I've imagined this scene countless times. The two of us sitting at a stall in the middle of the night eating supper, and then gossiping just like any other sisters in a normal family. And my dream was to study medicine and be a good doctor. Do you know what my biggest dream is now? You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.